Good morning, everybody. Well, I'm back. First of all, this is live. Nancy and I are in the studio, and you're not listening to a rerun, so that means we can't use this show as a rerun, because then I'd be lying. But I am just feeling extremely excited this morning because, forgive me, the regular listeners that hear me say this almost every week, but it kind of makes the time when you really feel excited that it doesn't sound genuine. But I'm really excited, and here's the reason, and you'll agree with this. We have a mystery shopping report today. We play at the end of the show. And by the way, if you're new, we'll be on the air for 2 hours. Eastern Standard Time, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. 2 hours, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time to 10 a.m. And we're in Florida. So you newbies out there, this mystery shopping report, we read in the last half hour of the show, that between 9:30 and 10. Now, why am I excited about this mystery shopping report, which, by the way, again, for the newbies, is we have a secret agent, a very famous secret agent. We don't know her identity or name, her euphemism. We refer to her as Agent Lightning. And she's amazing. She's been doing mystery shopping reports for us for years. This week, she actually bought, usually we just go in and mystery shop and we report what the sales, the managers, the dealership, how they behave, the advertising, and all these. We write a report up for you, but we don't really buy a car. Hey, we just bought a car. we bought a new car. I'm not even going to tell you the make. The regulars will know the make. And we bought it through the Amazon program. We bought a new car on Amazon. We took delivery at the dealership. So when you buy a new car on Amazon, and I think 60 or 70% of you people out there use Amazon. I mean, I hate to tell you about Nancy and me, but I think without Nancy and me, the stock would plummet on Amazon. We buy everything. And our dealership, by the way, buys a lot of stuff. They have a business program, and our dealership uses Amazon also. Amazon is almost the world's largest retailer. I think Walmart still has that lead by a small margin, but I believe they will be number one. So what a deal. See, with Amazon, you get an upfront price. You get a money-back guarantee. You get honesty and integrity and transparency. I mean, that's the reason they own the retail market. So Agent Lightning went into a dealership in South Florida, I will tell you that much, and she bought a brand new car, and she bought it, I hate to give it away. I'm going to give it away anyway. She did buy it at the Amazon price, and in addition to that, she got $2,300 kickback from Amazon in terms of a gift card, and obviously, we paid for the purchase, and then she will give us the points. We have a Toyota dealership in North Palm Beach, and we'll use that in our purchasing because we purchase at our dealership a huge amount of stuff through Amazon for the same reason I just covered a minute ago: honesty, transparency, integrity, good quality products, guarantees. I mean, I hate to say this, I'm not Jeff Bezos' grandfather or anything. I'm just a big fan of Amazon. So stay tuned for the last half hour. If you do nothing else, if you're busy now or driving around somewhere, tune us back in at 9:30 a.m. and catch the Mystery Shopping Report. I believe probably the first full, complete, transparent rendition of an Amazon new car purchase, how it went, where we bought it, and there were a few interesting instances, as there always. You can't go into a car. See, she had to go into the car dealership to take delivery, so there's always something interesting and humorous or frightening, depending on how you look at it, when you go into a car dealership, especially in South Florida. Now to the nuts and nuts and bolts of the show. Please call. We have a number that we beg you to write down and call sometime when you tune us in now or back in later on. That number is 877-960-9960. 877-960-9960. If you'll write it down now, when you get back to listening, you'll be able to call us back. I mean, you definitely want to call back in the last half hour. I mean, listen to that mystery shopping report. Now, if you're a little bit timid about calling, and why not? Your live radio will have tens of thousands of people listening to you. Does that make you nervous? Well, then don't call. But text us at 772-497-6530. That's 772-497-6530. And we accumulate your text. And my son Stu Stewart, who should be here shortly, he usually comes in a few minutes late. And Rick Kearney, who is our certified diagnostic master technician, will accumulate the text. Sometimes we get to a text right away. Sometimes we wait, but correct me if I'm wrong, we're gonna usually get all of our texts taken care of, unless we have a crazy day. And so your text will 99% be read and answered. 772-497-6530. The other, what we stream. See, I call this radio. It's not really radio. It's the 21st century version of television. We stream. That's the name of the game, streaming. So we're streaming on YouTube is the big streamer. YouTube.com/Earl on Cars. YouTube.com/Earl on Cars. And Rick has a following. Rick Kearney has a group of folks that really are the backbone of the show. And by that I mean they not only listen to the show and learn from the show, but they probably teach us more than they learn. And they also are car people. They have a lot of sources that they access. And without the YouTube calls, the show wouldn't be what it is today. So if you really want to see some cool stuff, go to youtube.com/Earl on Cars and watch the posts that come up. And you'll know the questions and the comments and the feedback, information, ideas that we get on youtube.com/Earl on Cars. We're also on Facebook. And I guess Facebook is kind of like for old guys now, old gals and old guys. It's not hip. But that's what we do anyway. And youtube.com/Facebook. And you can stream us live there and see what a handsome guy I am. And Rick, and what a beautiful woman Nancy is. I'm kidding about the first two. Nancy is a beautiful woman. And I'm very lucky because she is my wife. She's also the co-founder of this show 20-some years ago. And she has done something almost impossible. She's built the listening audience of this radio show, this streaming 21st century show, to 50-50, ladies and gentlemen. And half the people that call the show now are female. And when you listen to the special offer she has to you ladies listening out there, you're not going to believe it, too good to be true kind of a thing, but it is true. She has a special offer she's going to tell you ladies about. Please call the show. I mean, we realized, or actually Nancy realized years ago, that men and women are different. I mean, I don't know we all realize that now, but women have a completely view about buying a car. Well, women look at car buying and car servicing and maintaining, and they look at it more objectively and logically than men. Us guys, it's a compliment to say, hey, you're a car guy. Well, car guys are emotional. I mean, they love a car because of the way it affects them emotionally. Women, they still have that emotion, but they also are very practical, and studies have shown that they actually do a better job of vetting car dealerships and cars and preparing themselves to make an intelligent purchase. So that's the reason we're so appreciative of Nancy for building the female audience up to 50%. Nancy, I'm yakking. I'm going to stop yakking. I'm turning the mic over to you, and here you are.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome. When Earl opened the show, he was speaking about Amazon. He was speaking about the Amazon auto buying program. For any of you out there that haven't followed along with us as far as this auto program is concerned, Amazon Autos is a new online buying platform launched by Amazon in partnership with Hyundai, allowing customers to purchase new Hyundai vehicles directly from Amazon's website. The initiative aims to streamline the car buying process by integrating it into Amazon's family shopping experience. And I emphasize streamlining, the streamlining that they talk about in the process that's supposed to simplify the car buying experience. For all of you out there, the reason I mention this, are you familiar with this program? And most of all, would you use it? Our number here is 877-960-9960. And if I'm talking with a lisp, it's because I chipped my tooth. No fun at all. Yeah, my tongue is messed up from rubbing against the top of the tooth. Anyway, I just want to explain my lisp that I've come in with. Our number here again is 877-960-9960. 877-960-9960. That mystery shopping report, you certainly want to stay tuned for it because, Agent Lightning, she went in with a cup of patience and everything else. She really stood the test of time, along with, I gave you a little teaser, a little abuse. So, at any rate, that mystery shopping report comes to us from Hyundai Del Rey. That's an Amazon auto program buying service. So stay tuned for that. We have so much to get to. Interesting article in the Consumer Report that I just loved is how to escape your car in an emergency. Any of you ever think about that? And if you do you automatically say, I've got to get that manual out. I'm going to take a look to see what I have to do, sharpen my senses to get out of this vehicle that I have just went into a canal, the ocean, whatever. So it is an interesting article, and of course it is in the Consumer Report. Marty and the rest of you, if you're listening, give us a call this morning. Let me know whether you received your Consumer Report, along with the 2025 Auto Edition. Again, our number is 877-960-9960, and you can text us at 772-497-6530. Don't forget, anonymousfeedback.com. Now back to the recovering car dealer.
Okay.
Oh, excuse me. We have Howard. Howard's a regular caller, and he's on the line right now, ready to speak to us. Welcome, Howard.
Well, thank you very much. Happy Easter, and I think I have good news for a RAV4 SUV buyers, because Toyota is now considering producing them in their Kentucky factory instead of in Japan.
Oh.
Yeah, I just read this. I'm reading it right now. They're considering because there won't be tariffs. So that's actually good news for
hopefully
buyers.
Hopefully we'll hear more and more of that from Toyota and all the manufacturers.
Yeah, well, I hope they could do that because the tariffs are coming.
Yeah, that's a huge factor, and the problem is nobody knows how high or how low or when it will apply or to whom it will apply. Confusion is the worst thing for the buyer and the seller.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're completely confused now. We don't know what's happening, what the future will hold for us as far as these tariffs are concerned.
Yeah, they just stopped the court made. I believe it was Stellantis, formerly George Deep Chrysler. Stellantis was advertising "Made in the USA" for the Ram truck, and they found out that the parts weren't made in the USA, and it was misleading. So it's going to be interesting to see how this flies, and hopefully we'll get some definitive final answer from Washington before much longer.
Okay, that's all my call is about, and you have a nice holiday.
Thank you,
I'll
Howard.
talk to you again next week.
Thank you, Howard. Happy Easter. Happy Passover. So much has changed since last week when we aired and we talked about, the possible changes. Speaking of tariffs, rise in new car sales, used cars, leasing, everything, the whole across the board will change. And I got a report this morning, and you read this report, didn't you, about the tariffs and everything that was going to change. And this move is expected to increase vehicle prices. Hang on to your hats, $5,000 to $12,000. Interesting. We'll get to more of that later in the show. I'm going to remind the ladies, I'd love to hear from you. All of us would. You can win yourself $50 for the first 2 new female callers. Say hi. Tell me how your purchasing experience went. Anything at all. Anything at all, because there are other women who are listening to you, and you may give them, a reason to give us a call also. $50 for the first 2 new lady callers, 877-960-9960. We're going to go to Ken, who's holding from Lake Worth. Good morning, Ken. Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I just purchased a new Toyota RAV from your dealership, and I was very happy with my purchase.
Well, thank you.
And quite impressed by some of the salespeople that I met, and it was a pleasurable experience. I would go back a second time. My question today is for Rick. Being a snowbird, I'm getting ready to head up north and work my summer job at a golf course. And I want to put my RAV on a trickle charger. Well, I've done this very easily on my older vehicles, and when I popped the hood of the RAV and looked at the battery, I thought I was looking at a wiring situation from Space Odyssey 2010.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. I'm befuddled here. I don't use the alligator clips. I do the plug-in. Makes it a lot easier on the trickle charger. And the actual, there's 2 nuts on the negative, and there's 2 nuts on the positive side. And Rick, your guidance, please.
10-millimeter socket and ratchet, 1/4-inch drive works perfectly. And just go right to the actual terminal itself where you got the clamp. Just take that 10-millimeter nut off of the clamp, slide your little ring terminal on there for the positive and for the negative. Make sure you disconnect the negative terminal. Always do that first and reconnect it last. That way you don't get sparks and you won't have an issue with possibly shorting something. And once you're there, just hook them up and you're good to go.
Okay, let's go back to the positive terminal for a second. The 2 wires that come up alongside the battery, at that terminal there's a nut there, and then there is a nut on the side which attaches the actual clamp to the terminal.
Yep.
Which of those 2 are you connecting to?
I would go straight on the battery terminal itself.
Okay, all right. So not on the one that holds the 2 wires coming up.
No.
Okay, now on the negative, just real quickly here, and I won't hold you any longer. I bet you have a lot of calls today. You have such a wonderful show. The 2 nuts that are there, the one that is connected to the terminal itself, is more like a hold down rather than a clamp. It's interesting that they design both ends 2 different ways. That's that kind of threw me, because I'm used to the old way we did things, but I realized we live in a world where everything old is new, and you know the saying.
Yeah.
So, All right, I'm going to work on that. And one more question, and I'll let you guys go because I
Sure.
know you have a lot of callers. You have a fabulous show.
Thank you.
When you don't have somebody to come in and unlock your garage and take your car off of a charger and has to sit on a charger until you come back, we come back in October. This brand new RAV is sitting in the garage on a charger. I know you talk about lubricating the seals by driving it once a week. It's just impossible to be done. Is it something, because of the way I'm going to do this, I should stay up at night worrying about this?
No. It's for a few months like you're doing, you're not going to have any problems. When you do get back to the car, I would do like just take it out for just a short drive, just to kind of like ease it and let things lubricate up and let everything kind of work their ways out. But just a short drive, 10, 15 miles, easy acceleration. And if you have the opportunity, maybe take it out on the highway, just a nice, easy cruise along the highway somewhere, just to really stretch out all the kinks, as it were.
All right. Lastly, stable, no stable?
No.
Full tank?
Full tank is actually best because that way you have less surface area for fuel evaporation. So you're better off that way. But it's a minor thing, really. I don't ever recommend any additives except for the people that are storing a car up north where you get those extreme cold temperatures. And those are times when humidity and the dryness, that can play a factor. And it can mess with the gasoline, especially sitting for a good length of time in those extreme temperatures. But here in South Florida, we really don't get the abuse that the weather can give in other places. So yeah, I don't recommend additives in the fuel or anything.
All right. Thank you very much, and I appreciate the service that you provide on Saturday mornings.
Oh, our
I'm
pleasure.
A regular listener. It's led
Ken,
me
thank
into
you.
the Earl
Thank you for all of the compliments. We really appreciate your call, and you're a regular. And there's so many people that are listening to you, and we definitely want to let you know we appreciate you. Have a wonderful weekend.
You too. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to mention the Wall Street Journal this morning, and if you haven't read the Wall Street Journal this morning's edition, there's some news, and it has everything to do with tariffs and where these vehicles are going to be built and so on and so forth. But here's some news about the F-150 Raptors, also the Mustang muscle car, also the Bronco SUV, and the Lincoln Navigators. And the news is that China, they're avoiding tariffs that have shot up in recent weeks. The latest effect on the auto sector from the Trump administration, escalating trade war. That's an interesting article if you want to open up the Wall Street Journal this morning and take a look at Ford halts shipping F-150s and other pricey models to China. There's a lot. There's also, if you have the New York Times, you can take a look in the business section and see just how many Teslas are sitting on the lot. And these vehicles are sold or traded in protest against Elon Musk and his political statements. And you know how all of that goes, how it fuels this animosity.
They're great buys because the prices are very low.
Pardon me?
It's a bargain price if you're looking for a Tesla.
Well, I was just going to get to that. It's just like the stock market and everything that has gone on, since all of this stuff has hit the, fan. But here's all these Teslas, and they're on the lot, and guess what? It's a good time to buy a Tesla because you're going to be able to negotiate or do, some wheeling and dealing here because somebody else got rid of their Tesla for political reasons. I digress. Okay, our number is 877-960-9960, and Rick's looking at me with a smile. I think he loves Elon Musk. Just kidding.
Actually, I'm going to say this. I'm offended by one thing that I see on the internet a lot, and that is people vandalizing other people's cars
Yeah.
because of what the owner of the company is doing. I'll cut that as short right now, but I'm offended by that, folks. Let's find some way to stop vandalizing cars that have nothing whatsoever to do with the
Nothing
owner of
at
the
all.
company at this point.
Yeah,
You know,
nothing at all. Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget, take advantage of youranonymousfeedback.com. Youranonymousfeedback.com. We'd love to hear from you, and you absolutely do. I'll reassure you, you do stay anonymous. Also, ladies, if you didn't hear me earlier, $50 for the first 2 new lady callers. We are going to stay on the phones, and we're going to go with John, who's calling us from Delray. Good morning, John.
Hi, my name's John, and I've listened to your show for quite a few years and never really got a chance to call in.
Well,
But
thank
last
you.
week, somebody called in about cleaning your engine compartment, and I think your son there was saying you shouldn't water it down or whatnot. But I found a company called Total Auto Wash. It's a solvent that you spray on your engine for about a minute, but make sure you cover the alternator with a plastic bag, spray it on, let it soak in for about a minute and a half tops, then spray it off with a regular hose, and then if you have a garden blower, blow off the excess water, and then take the bag off and start your engine up for 2 or 3 minutes just to get into all the nooks and crannies. And I've been doing it now for about 2 years. I think one bottle costs either $39 or $49, and I've done about 10 or 15 cars with it, and I still got half a bottle. So if someone wants to clean their engine compartment, it's called Total Auto Wash, and you can get it online.
Yeah. The only comment that I really have on that is be very careful when you're putting water on the engine itself to avoid, if you can, the areas where the spark plugs are. Because a lot of those spark plugs,
Well, this
with the
isn't
coil
water. This
built
isn't
on the
wa-
top.
This isn't water. This is something he buys.
Right,
That's
but
different.
it's got to be rinsed off with a garden
Oh,
hose.
rinsed off. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and the problem there is if you get too much water that goes into that spark plug tube, it'll actually cause the coil to start shorting out, and you'll get a severe misfire. So it's something you just want to be careful of. Be very gentle with the water hose when you're rinsing it off.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, I've had it for 2 years, and the first time I tried it, I did it in my driveway just to make sure if it didn't start, I could get towed. But it worked fantastic. But I'll keep that in mind. It's just, and it's called, you can do it with all your cars that come in there, called Total Auto Wash.
Yeah.
I mean, the car looked like brand new. I was impressed. I couldn't believe.
Thank you
Total
very much.
Auto
That'll
Wash.
add to your resale value too. A typical appraisal, the used car manager typically pops a hood, and when they see a shiny, nice-looking engine, they mentally add value, and you basically you're cutting the price of the car you're buying by keeping your engine looking good.
Yep.
Yeah, it's called Total Auto Wash.
Thanks very much, John. That's
thanks,
good
John.
information. We'll share
Okay,
that
thank
with
you.
everybody. Thank you.
Oh, we lost you. Okay, we're going to go to Tricia. Good morning, Tricia. How are you?
Tricia, are you holding?
Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't hear my name. Sorry.
Yes, yes.
Okay. I got through our calls early this time, and happy belated Passover and happy Easter to
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Okay. Now, I'll be like the caller 2 callers ago. When I'm ready for a hybrid, I will buy from you guys because, like the guy said before, he's had a good experience, and I'm going to trust no one but you guys.
Thank you.
When I'm ready, I'm just hoping the prices aren't going to be sky high like, unfortunately, we are anticipating.
Yes.
All right, but hope not. Anyway, and but here's my question about some braking issues I have. Now, it's not severe, but I do have some shaking, very mild shaking when I'm braking from like 40 miles on down. Okay? So when I had my tires rotated and balanced, like a good girl, this is what I'm doing now. Every time I do an oil change to make my tires last, I had them look at my brake pads and they said there was plenty of meat on there. And also to check the tire rod, because maybe sometimes that could cause shaking. Well, I had the tire rod checked, and that is fine. Now, my guy of 40 years experience, Dino, the guy out East Boca, which I only go to, when I have to because he's so far away, he said to me, and this is what I want to ask you, Rick, if you agree. He said yes, the brake pads might have meat on them. What's making your car shake a little bit is that the rotors are warped, okay? And he says they should have told you that, but he said don't change them until it gets so bad that you can't deal with the shaking anymore. Do you agree?
Mostly. Depending on the thickness of the rotors. Now, the rotor, if you look in through the space around the wheel, you'll see this big disc right behind the wheel. That's the brake rotor. And what happens is the brakes will squeeze the pads together on either side of that rotor to slow the car down. When those rotors when you're driving, they get hot. They get really hot. And sometimes you might hit a little water puddle or something, some water splashes in there, or something. The rotors will just start to get a little bit of warpage or what's called thickness variation. And basically, when the rotors are brand new, they are very, very thick, and they're designed to where you can put them on a machine called a brake lathe, and it will grind a little bit of the surface off of those brake rotors to make them nice and true again. So usually you can get 2 or 3 resurfacing out of a brake rotor before you have to actually replace it. And this makes it so, you go to a brake place, or the dealership, they will take the wheel off, take the brake rotor off, and have it resurfaced. They'll grind it back smooth again and then reinstall it.
How much would that cost there, Rick?
At our dealership, it would be somewhere around the neighborhood of about, with new brake pads installed, about $500.
Okay.
Now, replacing the rotors, you're going to increase that amount by about another $100 per rotor. So it can get expensive.
Almost double.
Yeah, almost $700 really to get new rotors put on with the new brakes. So resurfacing gives you the advantage. You can do that a couple of times until that rotor gets thin enough that it can no longer be resurfaced properly and still be at what's known as the minimum thickness. So that's a couple options you have. You can have them resurfaced, or you can replace them.
I've never had that offered to me, Rick, about resurfacing. And I'm sure if I went to a dealership, they're going to tell me I need pads and rotors. You know that. I'm not going to trust anybody. They're going to say that it's all bad.
Yeah.
So right there you go. So, I've never been offered, the resurfacing, but I will ask that, to my guy, that I've known, for a long time about resurfacing, because the pads are still good, Rick. The pads aren't really worn down. There's a lot of meat on them.
Right. Okay, so figure probably around $400 at the maximum, because our dealership, it's being a dealership, our prices are probably a little higher than a lot of the independent mechanic shops. But yeah, if he has a brake lathe available that he can do that, if he has one, then yeah, rotors can be resurfaced. Now, for a lot of folks up north, where they get much heavier, the road salt, and the wintertime, brake rotors tend to corrode a whole lot more and warp to a much greater degree. So generally, in northern states, they don't even bother resurfacing. They just replace the rotors automatically. They don't even offer resurfacing. It's just here in South Florida, our environment allows us the opportunity to offer resurfacing that saves the customer some money, for several occasions.
Well, that just shows you how all previous people have been. I've never been offered a resurfacing, even here in South Florida. So, yep. So there you go. So this is why this show is so great. Look how well it educates. Look how well it educates us. I love it.
Well, thank you, Tricia. It's also great. I'll pat us on the back now. Here's a man who worked for me for 25 years that just said on the radio. 30 here, just said on the radio that we will charge you more to resurface your brake pads than you probably get from an independent mechanic. And why did he say that? Because it's true. And it's sometimes you have to tell something that might not be popular or going to be profitable, but you just have to be transparent and honest. So I respect Rick, and that's the reason I consider him one of the top technicians I've ever had work for me.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for the info.
Okie dokie.
Thanks for the call, Trish.
Have a great. You're very welcome.
Hope to hear from you again. Our number here is 877-960-9960. And earlier in the show, I was putting this question out there, and I was asking the audience, would you be swayed to go through the Amazon Auto program? We all would love to hear from you. Our number is 877-960-9960. We're going to talk to David right now. He's calling us from North Palm Beach. Good morning, David.
Good morning. Last week, when you were talking about the Amazon Auto program, you were saying you might send one of your people out and actually buy a car. If you did buy a Hyundai through that auto buying program, which model car would you buy? Because I know you have to resell it, so you thought you'd be able to get the most amount of money. And also, would you have to pay sales tax, you being a dealer? Can you buy it from the Amazon and not pay sales tax?
Well, Stu just walked in, and he can answer all of your questions.
That's right. Well, to answer the question about the sales tax, if a dealership would be willing to sell a car to us, I don't see any reason why they wouldn't if we wanted to buy a new Hyundai, unless there was an availability issue. We would buy it for whatever price they would agree to sell it for, but we would not pay sales tax. What was the first question about how do you select the car?
But he raised an interesting question, because we've never done this before, but we basically had our agent buy a new Hyundai on the Amazon program.
You're giving it away.
Okay. We talked about it earlier.
Oh, okay.
But my point being that because we are not buying it for use, we bought it for a resale, and it's on our used car lot right now. So we should be exempted from the sales tax.
Well, of course. We paid sales tax because she purchased the car.
Exactly. Yeah.
But when we effectually rebought it from her,
We'll talk about this after the show. But we didn't really buy it. She worked for us. We told her to buy it, and on paper she bought it. But in reality, we bought it. It was our money and our employee.
Yes, but we didn't approach them as we were Earl Stewart Toyota. We wouldn't have paid sales tax.
I think we're exempt from the sales tax.
Well, you already paid the sales tax.
Well, I think we get it back.
Okay, we'll move it along. But to answer the question about the vehicle, we wanted to have something that would be, right now, the average MSRP of a new vehicle is what, 40-something, close to 50?
45, 50, yeah.
Yeah, so we wanted an inexpensive vehicle which would look attractive to purchase. And no, the price that we bought, we bought the vehicle for a retail price, which was thousands over what we could have bought hypothetical duplicate of it. When we stock it into inventory, we stock it in at the correct, what we call ACV, which is the actual cash value, and our best estimation what that car would be had somebody had bought it and then turned around and sold it. And that's what we established the ACV, and then we price it accordingly. So yeah, we have a brand new, extremely low mileage, doing an advertisement on the lot that's priced like a used one. We took a hit.
You didn't answer my question though. What model did you buy that you thought
I'm not
would
going
have
to tell you.
the
That's in the mystery shopping report. You have to listen for another hour.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
No.
You want me to give it away?
The answer would be this. You can go to consumerreport.org, and they will give you the best Hyundais that, and by the way, the Hyundai is a very good overall car. So you really can't go too far wrong buying a Hyundai. And I would go to www.consumerreports.org, and you can put in there what model Hyundai is best. You need to give them some guidance, like if you want an SUV, or do you want a sedan, or do you want a convertible, or what, give them a general guideline, and they'll give you the best Hyundai that for your money.
That wasn't my question, though. My
Right.
question to you was, which particular model did you buy that you think was the best resale value?
Oh, I made I quipped a joke. I said in the mystery shopping report that model is revealed. I'll tell you right now, it was a Hyundai View. It's a small little vehicle, MSRP around $24,000.
Thank you very much. Nice talking with you.
You're welcome.
Thanks, David. Hope to hear from you again. Our number here is 877-960-9960. I'm going to mention how to escape your car again. Pretty interesting article in the Consumer Report. And after I read this to you, you can go to consumerreport.org/escape. consumerreport.org/escape. And this is so interesting, and it's something that we don't think about, getting our manual out and taking a look at, so many different things that we need to know about our vehicle that we're driving. So before something terrible happens, it's best to get that out now. But listen to this. The door handles, both inside and out, on many new vehicles require electricity to work. If you're in a collision that cuts the power, or if the battery dies, the door handles may not work as expected. Before your next drive, learn how to manually use the handles. From inside, some cars require you to pull the interior handle twice to override the electronic latch. Others have a hidden release lever. Exterior handles can be even trickier to use without power. Check owner's manual and learn how to open the doors, or go to Consumer Report, consumerreport.org/escape. Great information.
I'd like to jump in there, and hopefully that our previous caller, David, is still listening, because he was begging us to answer his question, and,
Yes.
and it took us a long time.
Yes.
I just checked with our fifth member of this show, ChatGPT. And,
What was the question? I think he just wanted to know what car we bought.
no, he wanted to know what car he should buy with the highest resale value.
That's not what he asked, and you said you answered him, and he told you that wasn't the question.
I'll play back the podcast and bet
Play
you
the
lunch.
replay.
I'll tell you, bet you lunch. If you're buying a Hyundai today, the one with the highest resale value is a 2025 Hyundai Kona, Kona electric. The 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe stands out also, and the 2025 Hyundai IONI Q6 has a solid resale value. So, at any rate, all the Hyundais have got good resale value. ChatGPT says those three I think I just mentioned have the highest. And David, Stu said that wasn't your question. I thought your question was, if you bought a Hyundai, which one would you buy that would have the highest resale value? So let's move along with the show.
Maybe David should call back.
Yeah.
We'll continue the conversation. 877-960-9960.
Rick?
And I think that, John, hold on, I'll be right with you from Palm City. Rick is going to ask a question.
Let's go to caller first.
Okay.
Yep.
See that, John? You count.
Callers always get priority.
We're holding off with Rick's question. Good morning, John. How you doing?
Good morning. I want to talk about two federal laws which they don't pay any attention to when they're federal laws. At the end, I got a question for Rick. The one is MSRP, which has been in effect since 1958. If you're going to a dealer now and they don't have that listed right on the window of your brand new car, walk out because they're hiding something. Even if it's in a glove compartment or if it's on the seat or on the floor, and nobody seems to enforce that law because it's being neglected left and right,
Yes.
especially the dealers in South Florida. The second law I've never heard anybody at all getting a ticket for is the seatbelt. When the seatbelt law came in, I think in the 70s, at the beginning, there was so much objection to it because the manufacturers had a system where if it wasn't clicked, the car wouldn't start. There was so much controversy over that, they backed off. They stopped that. They made it, you'll get a light on the dashboard or a buzzer. And I've never heard anybody recently that got a ticket for not wearing a seatbelt. And then, this is what I'm hearing also somebody did. What you do, they go to a hardware store, and they get a metal insert like of shim. They stick it in the slot where the seatbelt's supposed to be attached to. And I want to ask Rick, is that true that it works as if you have your seatbelt on any car or at a particular car?
Yeah, you can if you really want to mess around with that. But I'll tell you the easier way. Pretty much every manufacturer has what's known as seatbelt extenders.
Why are you telling people how to break the law?
It's not breaking the law.
Well, I'll let everybody know. They issue about close to 100,000 seatbelt violations statewide every year. So I wouldn't say it doesn't happen.
Now,
Is that right? Just in Florida?
That's what ChatGPT told me.
seatbelt extenders are for those of us like me that were a bit fluffy, or we're a little larger around the middle. However, when you plug a seatbelt extender in, it will shut off that light. But I always wear my seatbelt, and the fact of the matter is, I know at least 3 people relatively close to me who have gotten seatbelt tickets in the last 2 or 3 years for they just didn't put the seatbelt on when they should have, and they got ticketed for it.
I think what it turned into, like as far as enforcement, a secondary violation versus a primary. Like they can't see you riding down the street.
No,
they can get you.
Originally, in Florida, it was
secondary.
A secondary, and now
flip that.
If a police officer sees that you do not have your seatbelt on, they can and will
shoot you,
stop you, and write a ticket for you. And if you are not nice, they may very well shoot you, or even worse, pull out the taser or the pepper spray.
Thanks, worse.
So it's
I'd rather get pepper
folks,
sprayed than shot.
Wear your seatbelt every single time you get in the car. Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah, John.
That's great advice, Rick.
Anybody that doesn't use it is a fool because it's been proven that seatbelts save lives.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely.
That's a fact.
Yes.
That's a fact. And I'm sure Rick don't remember that the original law, the car wouldn't even start if you didn't have your seatbelt on.
So, John, I'll tell you a secret that the statute of limitations is up, so they can't arrest me now. But when the seatbelts first came out, as you say, the law came in 1958 at Stewart Pontiac, where I worked for my father. We thought it was a joke. Everybody thought the seatbelts were a joke, and they were. Yeah. So what we would do at Stewart Pontiac is we would buckle the seatbelt, and then we would stuff it down inside the seat where you couldn't see it, because our customers didn't want the seatbelts. We didn't want the seatbelts, and the car would start if you buckled it, and so people would buy the car with the seatbelts, never knowing they had seatbelts. And
you're saying if you ever want to race it, you just take the seatbelts out.
When I think of what a stupid thing that was, as I look at me doing that.
Well, I know we've talked about this before, and I think it's good for the audience. Is the design, the thought behind automobile design was to create very elegant, almost like little living rooms that you could
Yes.
tool around in.
Yeah.
It didn't have a sport connotation like an airplane. Right now we're looking like we're strapping into a cockpit.
Yeah.
But back then you put these seat belts into this beautiful, luxurious sofa.
Body low.
Imagine doing that to your home couch. It would look kind of stupid.
When I was in high school, I had a 71 Chevy Bel Air with that big bench seat in the front.
Mm-hmm.
And if I didn't wear my seatbelt and I went around a corner too quickly,
You were in the passenger
I'd
seat.
slide all the way over to the other side of the car.
We
Especially
have a-
after
we
you
have a
armor all the
caller on
seats.
line. John, sorry about that. We were
John
chatting
enjoyed
among
every
ourselves.
minute of it.
Never forget the seatbelt. Never.
Never.
Thank you.
Exactly.
All right.
Okay, John.
All right, guys. Waiting for that shopping report. I'm anxious.
Thank you so much, John. We appreciate your company. Have a great weekend. 877-960-9960. Or you can text us at 772-497-6530. Boy, our lines are really lit up this morning. I feel good about that. Okay, let's go to Bob. Bob has been waiting patiently from Lake Park. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Happy holiday, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Happy holidays.
Thank you. Stu, that Hyundai, that's considered a second owner car?
Is that considered an economic car?
Second
No,
owner.
Second owner.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, it'll be sold as a used vehicle because it will be titled and transferred to us. So it will be a used vehicle. Legally, we cannot sell a new vehicle, a Hyundai. We don't have the franchise, so it'll be sold secondhand. And but there's no difference between that and a new car other than the miles that it took to get to us. We
Right.
drove it to the dealership. We didn't tow it.
All right. Can I be a wise guy now?
Sure.
Sure, everybody else is.
Okay. You know what the policy is with Hyundai?
Right. Okay, should there be a problem with them having this resold, will they get a charge back?
No.
Okay.
Something else.
Because that's crossed my mind too.
Okay. Well, this is the problem is with Hyundai, they have a policy with the warranty. Okay, that they have the best warranty of all the manufacturers. I think it's 560 on the Hyundais. It's a very good warranty.
10-year,
But
100,000 miles on the drivetrain.
Who cares about
Yeah,
that?
but that doesn't apply in this situation. You know that.
The warranty doesn't apply in this situation.
Right.
Well, if that's the case, and
It is.
that doesn't sound incorrect at all. That's the case with every used Hyundai. If it doesn't transfer the full warranty, that's
Right.
no
But
difference
I mean,
than any used
is
Hyundai.
that something that you're going to disclose to the person that buys the car?
We don't disclose anything at Earl Stewart Toyota.
So
Just kidding.
that's what I thought.
No, of course, every new used vehicle, by law, we have to disclose what's remaining of the factory warranty. That's on the Federal Buyer's Guide and also in our paperwork.
All right.
However, the difference between that is this is an identical one to a new car on the lot that will be purchased by somebody for thousands cheaper than they could possibly get a new one.
I get it.
Yeah, so they could
you-
purchase an extended warranty if they chose to, but that's really up to them.
Well, they wouldn't buy that from you, though, would they? They would buy that from Hyundai.
No, we can sell an extended warranty on a used Hyundai.
Oh, okay.
A really
I
good
got
one.
something- all right, I got something for Rick. I tried the Cerakote, another one of their products for my headlights, and it worked pretty good. It cleaned them up pretty good. And it was a little bit of an arduous process. You had to do a few things, and you put some masking tape underneath because you didn't want to harm the paint with the chemical.
Yep.
But I would give it 3.5 stars out of 5. Look, they cleaned it up. It looks pretty good. There's one light that still has a few little streaks that didn't come out, but overall it was pretty. It did the job. They look a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
So I can recommend that product if anybody wants to clean their headlights. I wouldn't use the bug spray, but Cerakote I would use.
One thing I've learned about headlights, when you're to resurface a headlight to clean it properly, the product that says this does it in 10 seconds and those never seem to work well. The ones that say, hey, you're going to have to put a little elbow grease in here, You've got to, scrub this polishing chemical in. You got to really work it. If you put some effort into that and do it right, those can come out looking literally brand new. I mean, you follow the instructions on most of the ones that you got to work for it, but they will look brand new and they will last for months and maybe even a couple of years.
Wow.
So yeah, those, just do a little research on what product you're looking at to use for resurfacing your headlights. And when you go to do it, just be aware, get yourself an umbrella, park in the shade somewhere, get a little chair to sit on, and, put some time and effort in it, and they're going to come out really looking good.
Well, the funny thing with the instructions, they strongly recommend that you watch the YouTube videos before you do it.
Yes.
I thought that was fun because I had already seen that.
Oh.
But it was right on the instructions, and strongly recommend the YouTube. I have a question for Stu. The 441 Nissan, is that a Terry Tyler franchise? Do you know?
441 Nissan, Terry Taylor.
Terry Taylor.
Do you think, Jonathan? Is it? Yeah, it is. Jonathan is nodding yes.
I was wondering, because they have a vehicle I saw, a $61,000 MSRP. They have an internet price on it for $48,000, and I thought, I said, what's the gimmick?
Yeah.
It's a Nissan, but I know Nissan is offering cash back on a lot of their models now, especially the 24s. They're trying to move them out. And
did they specify a model? Because sometimes dealers will advertise, the up to based on, like right now we could advertise over $10,000 off MSRP on new Toyotas, but it would only be on a BZ4X because they get a $10,000 dealer cash thing. So it depends on that, and there's a lot of ways where they can claw back from the advertisement up to a profit situation.
Well, they did have their dealer fee. It was over $1,200, and then the electronic filing fee was almost $400.
Okay.
And they had a couple of those $500 deals that nobody qualifies for.
Well, just to wrap it up real quick, I'll just go on with what Earl always says. If you're seeing a car dealer's advertisement, it's a high probability you're listening to a lie. So that's kind of harsh, but we got to get on to a few more callers.
Okay.
Thanks for chatting.
Okay, have a great day.
Give us a call again. We're going to go to Jerry, I believe. Boy, our lines are really lit up this morning. So, hey, guys, just be patient, and we'll be right with you. We're going to go to Jerry, who's calling from Deerfield Beach. Good morning, Jerry.
Good morning. How are you?
Well, great, thank you.
Enjoying your program.
Thank you.
I got a weird question. I have a problem. I think it's with my car. I'm not sure. But what's happening is all my T-shirts are developing holes in the area of the seat belts. Now, we thought maybe it might be the wash machine at first doing it, but it's only in that area, and it couldn't be insects either. So we're just wondering if my sister also has the same problem. She's in Massachusetts, and my niece is in Connecticut has the same problem. And one area where the seatbelt goes across your belly. That's where all the problem is. And I'm just wondering if anybody has had that happen to them also.
No, but I want to inspect my clothes just to see if there is more wear in that area. I'm looking right now.
No, even no T-shirts. If I wear them for a short period of time.
Oh, just T-shirts, not like other...
No, just T-shirts, and only in that area where the seatbelt goes across your stomach. And I was wondering if they put chemicals in those seatbelts or what. They're smooth surfaces, but still, that's the only problem in that area.
Yeah, they're pretty smooth, but over time, I would say, they can pick and pull. You have two fabrics and friction.
Well,
Rick's got an idea. Rick's got a thought.
I checked the seatbelt. It is a little tight on that area. Where it goes across your chest, it's looser. But I was just wondering if anybody else had that problem because...
I think it depends on the shape of your body, maybe.
Do you wear any sort of, like a large belt buckle?
No, I just wear my T-shirt and my shorts. And
okay, because I used to be the sort of... I used to be the sort I always wore like a large belt buckle.
Like a wrestler's?
More like a redneck. Okay. But yeah, I found that a belt buckle would...
Hold it away from you?
It would wear on the shirt.
And that's right, but it doesn't, no.
Not up on your belly, though.
I think I can help.
Earl has an answer.
Yeah, ChatGPT, the fifth member of our team, says that this is a common problem, and one of the preventive measures you might try is use a seatbelt cover or pad,
Oh, yeah, with
soft fleece or neoprene. Clean the seatbelts regularly with mild soap and water. Adjust seatbelts properly so they don't rub unnecessarily. Rotate clothing styles or shoulder bags to vary wear patterns. That's from our assistant.
Right. And don't
to
get
the
T-shirts
show.
from Timu.
Exactly.
So it is a common problem.
It is a common problem.
According to ChatGPT.
We didn't realize it on this show, but ChatGPT knows all and sees all.
Have you ever noticed anyone
me ask my
driving on the
ChatGPT.
road that has a added accessory on their seatbelt
Like a pad or
across the
something?
chest?
I haven't noticed that.
You haven't?
Well,
I'm
it
gonna
doesn't
check
happen
this.
across the chest,
Just the belly.
The belly, yeah.
just the belly area.
Yeah.
It
And,
depends on where you have more meat, Jerry. Hey,
Yeah,
Jerry,
I'm looking at there ain't no belly on
I've
me.
got all kind of calls. Do you have any other questions?
No, that's it. That's
okay.
it.
Okay, Jerry. Thank you so much. Give
Thanks,
us a call
Jerry.
again. We're going to go to Marty. Hi, Marty.
Hi. First, I just wanted to tell Nancy I still didn't get the consumer report.
Dang it,
Okay.
Marty. We
The
failed.
next thing I wanted to say, I've traded in a lot of cars over many, many years. 99% of the time, the dealership never picks up the hood. And I would just say to Rick, somebody like me would never try to clean the engine. And I think 99% of the people should not try to clean their engine.
Totally. Yes.
Well, let me jump in there and say that you're right. The reason people don't look under the hood when they appraise a car at car dealerships is because they're lazy. And if Stu or I or any of the upper management thought that our appraisers were doing what you described
Regularly.
we would certainly take immediate action.
It happens occasionally everywhere.
It happens
absolutely.
everywhere. I mean, when the cat's
saying-
away, the mice will play.
Yeah.
So unfortunately,
It happens a lot everywhere. Yeah.
But it is. If I were to clean my engine the way we described earlier, and I was trading the car in, I would be sure they opened the hood, and I'd be explaining what a wonderful car I had. I'd be selling my car to them, my trade-in, just like they are trying to sell their new car to me. And I would also get their managers involved. If the appraiser came out, I'd say, let me speak to your manager. And I would pop the hood. I'd say, look at that engine there. I mean, that's cleaner than the engine
that
on
will
the
work.
new car you're trying to sell me. So you clean the engine and you clean the car. If you're trading in a car, take it to a good detailer. Spend $200 or $150 or whatever it costs you, and make that car look like new. A good detailer will make that car look like new, and that you'll get that $150 back 10 times over, because car appraisers and managers, salespeople, they are as gullible as the buyers, and they love a clean, good-smelling, sparkling car, and you can get another $1,000, $2,000 on your trade-in by that process.
Okay. Earl, I know you're or Stu are not going to agree with me, but I find most times when you trade in your car, they try to lowball you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I agree.
99% of the time.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And I agree with you. That's standard operating procedure.
So
That's
I
always
say,
they treat it very much like a car deal. When they go in with that appraised value, they know very well what the actual market value is. They're not going in there to and then when they have to do the shuffle, when they have to give you when they come up with some more money, they'll give you an excuse, but they know what it's worth before they go back the first time.
And
Right.
if you're talking about our dealership, we probably do the same thing, but it's like not looking under the hood. We have people there at our dealership. We have 170 employees, and Stu and I would not tell you that we know that everybody that appraises the car has always abided by the not giving the full amount of value of the car. I mean, sometimes it's a mistake, sometimes it's on purpose, but that's the reason.
Right.
Even if you're coming to our dealership, shop and compare the price of your
Absolutely,
trade-in. Yeah.
you need to do that. But you also have, just like we warn people about pay plans with salespeople. A car buyer is inherently at odds with the salesperson because they're getting a percentage of the profit. The pay plans can also prevent shenanigans with the trade-in. So while our managers enjoy the profits that we make, they also are penalized on the wholesale losses that come from overappraisals. So you can't have it both ways. So they're in it like we are, like we're in it. So
now the big story I always first go on KBB to try to get an approximate value, and every place I've always gone, they say, "Well, KBB doesn't buy cars."
Yeah. Well,
so that's one of their answers.
Oh, that used to be a fact, and in fact, it literally is still a fact.
But that's not true now.
But what KBB can do now, and they do
instant cash offer.
They can get the value of that car real time through auctions,
and they also have. They actually do buy now. It's called the instant cash offer. It goes through a dealership, but basically it is. They come up with you can get a check if you. So they've changed that. That phrase, KB, they don't buy the cars. That's always used in kind of a hostile, challenging sort of way. It's never.
School,
It's not a friendly bit of information, even though it might have been factually true. It was almost a way to throw it back in someone's face to say, "Well, go ahead and try and sell it because we're the only ones writing checks."
And that was before, with a click of a button on your smartphone, you can get the value of any car in the world, and it's real time. That car that they get, the appraisal was given, probably actually went through an auction that day, and somebody actually paid that price.
Right.
So whatever your make model you're going, somewhere in the world that car was sold. So you're getting a real-time price from KBB today.
Okay, well, that's good to know.
Yeah.
All I know is I really don't mind dealing with car dealers, so I don't mind spending some time.
You're very unusual.
Price. Yes, I agree. I agree. Most people hate to buy a car.
Yeah.
I actually, believe me, I don't like paying, but I don't mind sitting in there.
Yeah.
All right. Well, have a good Easter.
Hey,
and,
Marty. We need to team up. I like to negotiate, and you like this exciting car buying experience.
I find that it's a very interesting afternoon.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Peanuts
so to me,
and popcorn.
It's a game.
Yes, peanuts and popcorn. Hey, take a look. I responded to your text. Thanks for the call,
okay.
Marty.
Okay. Thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome. Have a great weekend. We're going to go to John, who's been holding in West Palm Beach, and Stu, who's calling us in Coral Springs, and Larry, who's calling us from Tennessee. Hang in there. We'll be right with you. Good morning, John.
Hey, good morning. I'm going to make mine real quick. All the regular callers are long-winded. Sorry about that. I'm one of them, so I'm going to make this one quick. I don't know if you guys noticed it. You probably talk about it after the show, though. Hey, going back to the seatbelts, for those who want to bypass the seatbelt, and I know you guys can't recommend and things like that. I can, because I'm not a dealership, and I'm not you guys. Hey, go to the junkyard, find your car, find the seatbelt, cut 3 feet off. Reason why you cut 3 feet of it off is you stick it in the thing. If you get pulled over, take that extra 3 feet, throw it over your shoulder. It may fool the cop, it may not. Either way, you were going to get a ticket for not having a seatbelt on.
That is very clever.
And then when you're in an accident and you're seriously injured and they find that, they say, boy, what a dumb guy he was.
Yeah, well, you know what? Whether they're wearing it or not, it was dumb in the first place.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But hey, there's people that are adamant that they don't want to be controlled by the government and they don't want to wear their seatbelt.
And they'll die trying.
Well,
Yes, that's right.
yeah,
true.
as
All
long
right,
as,
very
as,
good.
long
Have
as
a
they don't
great-
become a projectile and hit somebody else, I'm fine with it. I don't think people should be forced to.
All right. Hey, before they go to the junkyard, all the junkyards now have websites, and you can check and see if you have a car in that junkyard.
Yeah.
But they list all their cars and what they have available in their inventory, and they even tell you what lane number and road number it is.
That's a
Anyway,
great
have
tip. Great
Yeah,
tip.
great-
Let me
great
tell you,
information,
car
John.
dealers use they don't call them junkyards anymore, but they're very sophisticated.
Recycling centers.
And what a bargain you could get. I mean, to buy a used engine or anything is and you can also get warranties and guarantees. So if you have a reputable company that's selling used parts, we don't call them junkyards anymore, but they're huge, and you can get almost like a new vehicle warranty on parts from used, and you'll save thousands of dollars.
And then if you're not mechanically inclined, they do have people that sit out front and they'll pull the parts for you. Just give them a couple bucks to tip them, and they'll go. They bring their tools with them, and they sit there. And if you can't pull the part, they'll do it for you. And that if you're lucky to find someone that's sitting out waiting to make money.
Yeah, great tip. Great tip.
Okay. Hey,
Thank you
have
so
a
much,
happy
John.
Easter.
Thank you.
Happy
Happy
Easter.
Easter
Thanks.
to you, too. Let's go to Stu in Coral Springs. Thanks so much for your patience.
Stu.
Welcome to the show.
Good morning.
Good morning, Stu.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Thank
Happy
you.
holidays.
The same to you. Happy holidays.
So, I've got a question. So, my question is, my sister has a 2018 top of the line Lexus. It's got 13,000 miles on it. It's been sitting in the garage
Nice.
since my brother-in-law passed away in 21.
Oh,
I should be coming into possession of that car by the end of the year, and it's up north. So, besides putting air in the tires and charging the battery, what would I need to do to get it running? Should I have to change the oil or fluids or anything?
I would, if it's been sitting for almost 7 years, obviously at least 5 or 6 years, I would just plan on replacing the battery, check the date on the tires, and have them inspected carefully for any signs of dry rot or age on the tires that they might need to be replaced. And other than that, a nice, careful initial test drive. Work the brakes gently, give it a chance for the car to kind of stretch itself out a little bit, lean out. And I would then run the tank as low as you can, refuel it with fresh gasoline, and I would recommend an oil change. Other than that, I wouldn't recommend any other maintenances, and just drive the car.
Fantastic. That sounds good to me. I'd fly up and drive back.
yes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay,
My
Stu.
pleasure.
Thank you.
Thanks. Plenty of time for another caller.
Okay, thank you so
Thank you.
much, Stu.
Great name, by the
And
way.
give us a call when you get that car on the road. We're going to go to Larry. Thank you for holding, Larry. Welcome.
Hi there, folks. I got to tell you, I've been listening to your program for decades, okay? Earl and I go way back, and he may not remember what I'm going to tell him because when we get old, we get a little dementia and forget things,
That's true.
I went to his dealership at the end of North Lake Boulevard in North Lake, and one of his big billboard signs before you get there used to say, "No dealer fees." Do you remember that, Earl?
Oh, sure. Absolutely.
Well, you know what? Most of your public out there that's listening to this show may not even have an idea about what those junk fees are about and how they try to dishonestly take you over when you go down to that sales room. I don't know why those people are so dishonest, but be what it may, they're like that anywhere in South Florida. I would say that you may talk about that when I get off the phone and educate people that are listening out there because that's a very important thing. You're talking about sometimes around $4,000 or $5,000 almost. Okay, like they're tacking on. They don't need to.
Exactly.
I mean, if you got a plate and you want to transfer it, go down in a motor vehicle for $60 on PGA Boulevard here in Florida, and you can get it done yourself instead of $450 that they want to charge you, and so forth and so on.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. We still have that billboard. We have a different message on it now, but I do remember that one. That was I got a lot of heat from a lot of people.
Well, let me
it's a
tell you
new
what
thing.
you
We
did
just
to me.
changed the language. Now it says no junk fees.
Yeah, we just changed the
Oh,
language.
really?
Yeah. Same message,
Well,
modernized
I haven't
for
been
the
over
21st
But
century.
I'm in West Palm Beach right now because I own a home in Tennessee also. And I'm one of those snowbirds in my own homes. Okay.
Yeah.
Be what it may. Earl, what you did to me, and I don't think you're going to find this anywhere else ever. And I bought a lot of cars. I'm probably on my 22nd car right now. Okay,
Wow.
I got 2 collector cars in my driveway.
Wow.
A '95 Cadillac sedan DeVille 4-door. It's all made of steel. It weighs about 4,000 pounds. And then I got a '55 Chevrolet Bel Air, beautiful 4-door, which is unusual. I collect cars, choice cars. But my point here is, you came out and you, in your hand, without me even asking about, because the salesman went back in and got you to come out.
Mm-hmm.
You handed me the Carfax right then and there on the parking lot for a 2018 Kia.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, "Wow, I've never seen this before." I mean, you were so honest to do something like that, and you're not going to find a dealership anywhere, I think, in South Florida that's going to do that unless you ask them for it. They might even be reluctant to get it for you.
Yeah. Well, Larry,
You remember that?
I vaguely remember, and I was. It's so unusual today with dealerships because most dealerships you walk in, the owner is in Idaho or France
exactly.
or someplace, and so there are very few that are family owned like we are. So when we have family, and it used to be me before I got old and sick, but I don't spend much time there at the dealership anymore. But my son Stu would, or my 2 other sons. But family dealerships do those sort of things, and we're a dying breed. We're becoming extinct.
Exactly.
And AutoNation and the rest of them are taking over. So the good old days, I remember them. Remember them well.
I'm glad because you know what? When you think about it, I've always thought that I advised my 3 children about this. Remember the good times. Forget about the bad stuff because it's never coming back anyway as long as you don't repeat the mistake.
Exactly. Good advice.
Well, let me say this here. 2 things that I really call about. One, she's going to announce the name of the dog at Big Dog Ranch, and I already went out there one time, and I did adopt this particular dog.
Oh, thank you.
Which she talked about. Okay, they're fantastic out there. So no kill housing for dogs, and I can't just understand how people would ever want to kill dogs in the first place, but they do. Okay. But out there, they don't. So I'm just recommending people listen up. If you're looking for a dog, that's where to go. And you got a gigantic variety of different dogs out there that are available.
Thanks very
much. And
much.
I know on your show, you go ahead, you put some of the cost and all of that on the adoption. So that's great. What I want to know is, can she tell me, or I have to wait to hear it on the show, what's coming up for adoption?
Here's our doggy, Nancy.
Excuse me.
There is no dog this week, unfortunately. It's a cat. It's named Sylvester. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, Larry, thanks so much for the plug on Big Dog Ranch.
Well,
it's
they're great.
quite
They
an
really are.
organization, and they've been doing, so much for so long. And there is a lot of people who don't realize that, and I appreciate you
And let me just
shouting
say this
out.
here about Big Dog. Let me say this about Big Dog Ranch.
Okay,
They
we have
also
about
have
2 minutes, and then we have to go.
I'll make it real short. They have a veteran, a veterinarian there, a doctor, okay, with the credentials. Once you get a dog from there, you can always go back there and get a more fair price on anything that may be wrong with your dog. And I'm going to tell you this, if you go to just the run-of-the-mill veterinarian anywhere else, you're going to pay a lot of money for the same visit. You're going to pay probably a half or less if you take your dog back to Big Dog Ranch, if that's where you got it from.
Well, that's great information.
I know. I want to pass on knowledge whenever I can.
You can be guaranteed when you adopt at Big Dog Ranch, they have gone over that dog with a fine-tooth comb. And believe me, there isn't anybody that is going to go to get away with going to Big Dog Ranch, and they're not going to get a background check. They just don't give those dogs out because, as you said, there's so much abuse out there. And not to even mention the dogs just recently that were in the news that were tied to a tree. And they,
I know, I saw it. They should take those people, if they catch them, and hang them upside down.
I only wish for that human being what they did to the dog. That's it.
Well, you know what's going to happen? I'm not going to holy roll you, but time is coming. Their lives are going to end, and they're going to go someplace where the good people don't go.
That's exactly
you
right,
understand what
Larry.
I'm trying to say?
The bad place.
Larry, thanks so much for the call. We appreciate
You're
you
quite
calling.
welcome.
And we hope...
I love your show. Just keep up the good work, because there's a lot of people out there that need this knowledge, okay?
Yes. Thanks, Larry. Thanks for the reinforcement. I think that we're going to go ahead and check out some text messages, maybe your anonymous feedback. How about some YouTube? So the floor and the mics are yours.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look at some anonymous feedback that came in. The most recent one was a commentary on our shop of Sunrise Ford, our mystery shop. And here it goes. Here's my opinion on your mystery shop of Sunrise Ford. No call back. That truck was a real lemon, and they were not willing to fix it completely. They were going to sell it to some of them. LOL. Yep. LOL. I like that. LOL. Yep. LOL. 6 days to replace a battery in a car someone wants to buy. The dealership sounds like a real disaster. The people there don't care about doing their job. And to remind anybody, or to, if you didn't hear it, it was kind of a comedy of errors on the mystery shop. It's something that can happen at a dealership, but the follow-up was terrible. So there was a dead battery. They jumped it. Very common experience at a dealership. But then the battery completely died while they were on US 1, and they had a little situation getting off US 1. They went into another dealership, came back hours later, or maybe an hour later, and they were still in the middle of US 1. And
no cops.
No cops. It was just right there. Well, it's it's in Stuart,
2
Florida.
hours?
So Fort Pierce. It was way up, kind of like out of the metro area, and it was embarrassing for them. But they could have made it better, and they didn't. And days later, the car still wasn't fixed, and the problem, according to them, was just a bad battery. So it was. I agree with you. We didn't like that experience. Mm-hmm. Agent Lightning did not like that experience.
Not at all.
Okay, here's another anonymous feedback that came in. It says. Competition breeds innovation and forces quality to rise. And it's absolutely true. I'd love to see American car companies make more reliable commuter cars akin to the GM 38 V6. Keep dreaming.
Yeah, it's driving cars is going to be a thing of the past. You're going to have your own electronic chauffeur, like it or not. They're talking 15 years. We'll have over 50% of the cars will be autonomous.
Autonomous, probably not V6s.
Yeah.
I've got a doozy.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
This one's from Negan 1. He's out in Arizona.
All right.
Rick, I read an article that Teslas don't have accurate odometers. A person drives 40 miles round trip to work, and their Tesla shows 70 miles driven.
Well,
Google it. Tesla mileage shows higher to get the warranty to end quicker.
Ooh.
Says it's based on usage. If you drive the car hard, it'll show more mileage than actual. What does Earl think of this? And he goes on to say a recent class action lawsuit in California alleges that Tesla odometers are inaccurately inflated, potentially overstating mileage by as much as 117%. The suit claims Tesla uses algorithms and sensor inputs to inflate the mileage readings, impacting warranty periods, repair costs, and consumer obligations.
I'll answer that simply.
ChatGPT agrees.
I will personally donate $10,000 to Big Dog Ranch Rescue if the YouTuber that just stated that can give me evidence of that charge. That is.
Oh, you got to get it from the court case. It's as a class action.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that the implication is
Huge.
that Tesla is hiding and retarding their premeditatedly retarding their odometers, and I will guarantee you that's not true. And rather than make a bet with somebody I can't see, I will publicly on the air state that I will contribute $10,000 to Big Dog Ranch Rescue because I'm absolutely sure that's not true.
Will you accept the outcome of the lawsuit?
No.
So even if Tesla loses,
no, because first of all, the suit will never go to court. It'll be settled out of court because it's a BS nuisance suit, and they might give them a few $1,000s so they don't have to hire lawyers and go to court. But no, it's just stupid. When the richest man in the world owns Tesla. And the richest man in the world is not going to risk.
He's also gobbling ketamine pills.
Destroying his entire reputation by being convicted of something stupid like setting
you think Elon Musk is
the stupidest thing I ever heard.
You think that Elon Musk is averse to ruining his reputation?
I do. I think that Elon Musk, what he does do,
it's already ruined.
He doesn't consider to be wrong, but everybody knows.
But he's blown his reputation. I mean, he's completely. I mean, his sales are crashing worldwide.
Well, tell me one thing he's done. I mean, half the country is on his side, and half the country's against him.
Not half.
As soon as letting his emotions run away with him.
That's not entirely true either.
But
before you came in,
anybody that says that
I held this up. This is all Tesla's.
Nobody would dispute that Elon Musk is one of the smartest men in the world. The smart people do not go out there and commit suicide.
I did Google it real quick, and according to Reuters,
I'm looking at Reuters too.
Fortune, Jalopnik, Business Standard, and a couple other posts. It is an actual. This one person has actually started a lawsuit against Tesla.
Well, I can sue Stu for divorce. I can sue you for.
You will never divorce
for
me.
Molesting my dog.
I will never grant you a divorce.
I can sue.
Just try.
I can sue anybody for anything.
I'll see you in court.
So to make a big deal about a fallacious lawsuit
everybody's getting
is
silly.
just stupid.
Well, I mean, it's
there.
We'll just have to wait and see. But apparently this is what he's claiming. I read one article, just breezed through it a little bit, and this particular individual says that a normal 20-mile drive to and from work, he said the car stated he had driven 72 miles on one particular day.
Well, Nancy and I own we have 3 Teslas. And the first one we bought was about 3 years ago, and we have never seen any variants like you're discussing in the 3 we have. But that's not why I'm sure this is a BS charge. It is whether you like Elon Musk or don't like Elon Musk. I read his complete biography by Stephen Isaac, by the way, which is absolutely amazing. Still on the New York Times bestseller list, I think. And everything that Elon Musk does, even those things that seem outrageous to others, inside the minds of this genius, and he is a genius, it's for the good. I mean, I can say to you, it's crazy, it's stupid for him to think that he's going to popularize and colonize Mars. A lot of people believe that. But the fact of the matter is, scientifically, he has shown those that can understand what he does, which is not many people, that it can be done, and I believe it will be done one day. The electric car.
Earl on Mars.
They laughed at him.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Earl on Mars.
They laughed about him about the electric car.
I would only just a thought in my head. I wonder if Elon, if it is occurring, would he be aware of it?
If you read his biography, you'd know the answer to that. There's nobody that's more hands-on He actually will sometimes sleep on the floor of one of his factories. He's far more. Yeah, he's far more.
You're letting your emotions get to you.
No, it's true.
I know, but you're getting worked up.
Did you read his biography?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the biography.
And
Since
the
I've read the biography, I've seen a lot of things that made me think that a lot of things were
And
bullshit.
his
in the biography. But
also, his biographer is highly respected. So,
do we have? I know. I've read a lot of stuff that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Are we moving on to a mystery shopping report or a caller? Because I have more anonymous feedback.
Where's
Jonathan?
Where's Anne Marie's text?
Oh, does Rick have it in there?
I can bring that up right now.
Okay, while Rick is doing that,
Can
we
you
are going to
imagine
be
not
bringing.
reading Anne Marie's text?
We're
I
going to
couldn't. That would be
be
a failure.
going to the mystery shopping report, Hyundai Del Rey, and that is through the Amazon auto buying contest.
Not before we do Anne Marie's text.
That's what I just
Yeah,
said.
right, yeah.
So stay tuned for that. Rick, did you get the?
Got it. Good morning. In your opinion, what is/was the most dangerous vehicle you've ever encountered? Was it dangerous because it was badly designed, or was it dangerous because of poor maintenance?
The Chevrolet Corvair, the one that first car I bought for my first wife, Stu's mother.
She loved it.
It was Ralph Nader wrote a book about that car, the Chevrolet Corvair, called "Unsafe at Any Speed."
Yeah.
And I gave my ex-wife the most dangerous car that I could possibly have given her.
It was after you read the book.
No, I read the book later.
Okay.
It would have been funnier if I had read the book
Right,
first.
that's what I'm saying. That was the joke. I was setting you up there. Oh my God! The most dangerous car I ever encountered. I don't know. It was like this Lincoln Town Car I praised a million years ago, and all the shocks, all the suspensions of it bounced down the road, and I felt I was going to bounce out of the seat. But no, I don't have a particular one. They accused Toyota of being dangerous in 2010 and 2011 with the sudden acceleration fiasco and hoax or whatever it was, misunderstanding, and but cars have gotten safer and safer. Even the bad cars are pretty safe now. Would you say?
They accused Toyota of covering up the sudden acceleration,
right?
And it turned out to be a floor mat issue.
Yeah, it was crazy because they were getting to the point where they were suggesting cosmic rays could affect the chips that Toyota was using, and well, if that was the case, we're all using chips. So
that's for sure. Hey, the most dangerous car that I ever drove was a Mazda, and I lost my steering wheel, and my car hit a telephone pole. That's
a
all
Mazda? It was a Mazda?
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
Jason assisted me.
Jason did?
Jason Stewart.
Jason sell it to you?
Anyway, what are we going to do, guys? We're getting to the mystery shopping report.
We're
running out of time.
I got one more anonymous.
Okay.
Okay, this is for Earl, anonymous feedback. Earl, you often talk about the Japanese philosophy of Kaizen. We did this one?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm coming in late. That was last week?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm already in there. Okay. Well, it was a good one. How'd you answer it? I'm just kidding. All right, I'm all done.
You came in with your New York attire on.
That's right.
That's right. Dragon.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. We are going to go to the mystery shopping report. Mm-hmm. Okay, guys? The mystery shopping report, you can vote 772-497-6530. We would love to hear from you how you feel about our mystery shop from Hyundai Del Rey. And it is, again, as I said earlier, Amazon auto car buying experience. And boy, I'll tell you, everybody's going to love this report.
And point of fact, it's actually, we mystery shopped Amazon because we actually bought the car, through Amazon. So this is historic, certainly an historic moment for you regular listeners of the show back over the years. We've been talking about this moment probably for 2 or 3 years about Amazon. It took them a long while to get this thing going, and there was a lot of stuff behind the scenes, I'm sure, lobbying and a lot of stuff we'll never know about. Jeff Bezos, we're talking about rich guys on this show. We're talking about Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos. They're kind of like, 1 and 2 or 2 and 1, depending on when you check as to who's the richest person in the world. So truly historic. If you know anybody that like to listen to this and they're not near the radio or the streamer, tell them to run and listen to this. This is something you'll remember for a long time. Hyundai, Delray, Amazon. Speaking in the first person as if I were Agent Lightning, did a really, really good job on this. I was given the mission to buy a Hyundai through Amazon. I went through the process, and it was very simple. I chose from 3 participating Hyundai dealers: Coconut Creek, Deerfield Beach, and Delray Beach. Those are all in South Florida. Sadly, I first asked her to shop Napleton Hyundai for obvious reasons to regular listeners. But Napleton Hyundai is not participating with Amazon in this. Can you imagine why?
We could only speculate.
I mean, the greatest endorsement you could get on the Amazon program is the fact that Hyundai.
I don't think Napleton said no. Yeah, I don't think Napleton said no. I think Amazon said no.
Anyway.
Amazon probably said, "Are you kidding us?"
Yeah, we read about you, man. You're in the papers.
So anyway, I continuing back as Agent Lightning, I chose Delray Hyundai since it was the closest. I found the vehicle I was searching for easily, a new 2025 Hyundai Venue, SEL. The MSRP was $24,165, and selling price was $22,469. And I made a note to myself on this. That is also less $2,300 in Amazon gift card for it, because if you're not familiar, the Amazon program, the transaction is legally really with Amazon. So they offered up until, what was it, April
15th,
$2,300 gift card. So that amount of money was given to our mystery shopper, who credited us with it because we'll use it in our
It's important to note that when we read the numbers here, that $2,300 is they mail actual gift cards to Agent Lightning, and then those will be turned over to us, our account. But that's effectively it's cash.
Exactly. So you'll see what a great deal it is, and we'll remind you of that at the end of this report. Right on the listing, and notice the price excluded government fees, taxes, and $1,304.50 in dealer fees. Now, you can say that's ridiculous, it's stupid, it's mean. I'm going to give you an F for charging all those junk fees.
But it's right there.
But the danger of a junk fee is not the junk fee, because when you see the junk fee, you don't want to pay it or you won't pay it. But when they sneak it in on you in the F&I department or someplace else, hidden fees that they add and you don't realize you paid, that's the danger.
You know what I bet? After a while, as this grows and becomes more common, other manufacturers, it is really silly. I think that somebody at that point is going to say, "Okay, what are we doing here? We're putting a price, but we're making people just do addition real quick." So
we're hiding it, and they're telling people about it.
This isn't hidden. It will say $22,469 plus $1,304. That's the price. It's goofy that you got to add it, and eventually I think they'll just take that away.
Well, Costco does this, and so does TrueCar, but Amazon is huge, and the publicity and the growth factor, as Stu says, as this thing gets bigger and bigger, I think it'll erase junk fees.
It doesn't make sense to keep. It looks stupid. Bezos doesn't want it.
Okay, I'm back on the dealership now. I clicked into the listing, was presented with some options. I skipped over adding a trade-in. I'm online with Amazon now. I'm buying the car. I click into the listings, and it was presented with some options. I skipped over adding a trade-in, so Amazon doesn't need to take that, but they would if I had one. I didn't select any F&I, meaning financing, but they will finance your car for you also. We probably should have got into that a little bit more, but this is our first Amazon shop. We will do it again, find out what their financing deal is.
Correct. We could purchase. Also, they also offered the products like warranties and tire and wheel stuff like that.
Exactly.
We could choose that later because you can cancel those in the first 90 days. So because we don't need them.
So I told Amazon I'm paying cash and to make it simple, easy, and we were rushed on this because we only decided.
Because you rushed me.
Yeah, rushed me. I reviewed a complete breakdown of the charges I would be expected to pay. The out-the-door price was $25,806.56. This was the amount Stu wrote the check for. So Stu actually, we knew before ever saying anything at all to the Hyundai dealership, Delray Hyundai, they didn't even know we were coming. And so Stu wrote the check out like you will be able to do when you are an Amazon buyer through whatever dealer.
We can't stress that much. We can stress that enough because that's the whole, that is the out-the-door price when we say what you write the check for.
Yeah.
And you have the check is already written. You don't, any surprises, you just walk out.
And remember, $2,300 comes off that check.
Yes.
So $2,300 less than $25,806 is what the real out-the-door price is for this vehicle. Okay, continuing on as Agent Lightning, as soon as I hit submit on my computer and paid the $500 deposit that goes to Amazon, put it on my credit card, my phone rang. It was Will congratulating me on my purchase and asking when I'd be there to pick it up. So Will was the salesperson at Mapleton Hyundai, and he was notified that an Amazon buyer was coming in. That's good for a lot of reasons. We've seen oftentimes with the Costco auto buying program that you will walk onto the dealership lot and the Costco approved salesperson isn't the one that greets you. They still tell you it's a Costco program, but they lie. So here with Amazon, we know it's an Amazon purchase. We have an Amazon price, and the Amazon representative, Will, in this case, is handling the transaction.
Well.
Okay. We scheduled for 2 p.m. the same day. I went to pick up the check from Earl Stewart Toyota to deposit it into my checking account. I would get a cashier's check to buy the car. A little later, I received an email stating that my order had been canceled. That, when I was reading this, that shook me up. It probably shook Agent Lighting up. I immediately called Will, and he assured me this was an error, and the car was currently in detail. I don't know why that happened. Maybe we can figure it out. I don't know. Big prep for our 3 p.m. appointment. He said I should be there only for an hour and most to process the paperwork and drive away in my new car. I arrived at Delray Hyundai at 2:37 p.m., was greeted by a guy holding the door open for me. He asked, "Are you looking for anyone in particular?" I said, "Yes, I'm here to see Will. I bought a new Hyundai through Amazon this morning, and I'm here to pick it up." The man gestured to another guy at a desk. Will, on the phone, looked up, apologized, and pointed to another guy standing in the lobby. He said, "That's your guy right there." Okay, that was the designated hitter from Amazon. The man came over, introduced himself as Tony, and had me go to see the car. We did a walk around and then headed back inside to handle the paperwork. Once inside, Tony had me write my name and address on a credit application, but assured me they weren't doing anything with it. It was just another form of ID along with my license. A little aside, Stu did, which I did too. That's the reason we recommend you pay cash usually. In this case here, Amazon did offer buying finance. So next time we do a Amazon shop, we'll get the financing terms and interest rates, et cetera. And so when we go into the dealership, we'll be able to compare. And we'll do that next time.
And this, by the way, was silly. She didn't give him the Social Security number. I don't know if they're asking for that.
Yeah.
Because they said they weren't going to run a, but you can do a soft credit pull without a
Yeah.
But I don't know why they would do that.
It's just
Actually, I know why they would do that.
Yeah, well, confusion.
Well, no, they want to do this because, hey, we can get you, they can promise a rate and trick her into getting a car, but she didn't play along there. That's good.
Okay, continuing, he also had me sign a worksheet showing the price I had agreed to on Amazon. Well, okay, why not? The numbers matched Amazon's exactly.
On the bottom line, I don't know how it got there, but it all
bottom line.
worked. Yeah.
After waiting for 40 minutes, my husband came inside. Listen carefully. After waiting for 40 minutes, my husband, because of Agent Lightning, so another reason we love her so much is that she brings her husband and often purchasing cars and her kids. Not only this, but she has purchased cars before purchasing this car
last
for
week.
herself. Yeah. So I mean, she's dynamite. Anyway, her husband came in to see what was taking so long. He asked who was helping me, then walked over to the office where Tony was with Cody, the senior finance officer. My husband asked, "How much longer?" Cody replied, "It takes time. If you think you can do a better job or faster, you're welcome to it." I mean,
jaw drop.
Why?
That's a short fuse right there.
Yeah.
I listen. I'm not saying anything because Agent Lightning she's part of our team. I just want to go. How did her husband ask?
Well, I thought
how much longer?
I thought the same thing too. But by the same token, if you're in retail, you deal with people. Now, if someone comes in and takes a swing at you, or calls you, or swears at you, calls you a dirty name, that might be a different story. But at any rate, you don't get rude and abusive with a customer, particularly one that hasn't signed on the dotted line. My husband was shocked and challenged him. "You don't need to have an attitude with me." Then Cody asked, "Do you still want to continue with the paperwork and buy the car?"
I'd kind of fire that guy.
Yeah. Honestly, if we hadn't already committed to the purchase, we would have walked out. So there's rudeness on the face of the, as far as the shopper is concerned, me. Cody picked up his phone and called his senior sales manager saying he had a customer who was threatening him. A few minutes later, the senior sales manager came over. If all this is accurately relayed by Agent Lightning, it is pretty rough.
Obscene.
Pretty rough. He said, "My finance guy needs to concentrate on doing the paperwork. If even one letter or number is off, you'll have to come back to re-sign." He listened to my husband, and when we brought up Cody's rude comment about doing his job, the sales manager said, "Do you want me to bring him out here so we can beat him up?" I mean, I got outrageous, if accurately portrayed. My husband looked at him and said, "No, I just want the paperwork done so I could get to the bank to get the cashier's check."
I'll beat you up tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll beat you up tomorrow.
Let me say something about Agent Lightning. This relationship that we have with Agent Lightning, it's been nothing but amazing from the get-go. The first moment that I met her and she met me. And I want to tell you, this here, what do you want us to do? Take them out and beat them up? This could have gone in an altogether direction by Agent Lightning, because I know she could have taken them out and beat them up.
Anyway,
so,
I don't want to encourage you to do this, but
Lightning
if there was
patience.
a brawl, that would be good radio. That's all I'm saying.
We can have a knockdown, dragged out. Right, Agent Lightning?
We had a mystery shopper years ago that was chased out of the dealership.
That was our service manager.
And of course, in this case here, he was our service manager, who was a big, strong guy, Scott.
Yeah.
And
Toyota.
it was lucky that the guy that was chasing Scott didn't catch him. That's all I can say.
Yeah, should write a book one day. I remember when I was attacked and Terry came out to save me. Stories.
Okay, let me continue with this mystery shopping report. So,
we got time.
Back at Delray Hyundai, the guy says, we were given the wrong information on the phone. He asked, "What do you mean?" I spoke up and said, "Will told me I could put up to $5,000 on a credit card, write a personal check for the rest. But when we got here, we were told it had to be a cashier's check." The sales manager replied, "Amazon should have called to let you know that." I said, "The only call I got was from Will here at the dealership. Shouldn't he have known?" He responded, "That makes me super happy. My team is doing what they're trained to do, and I know Cody was trained well because I trained him. So we got a lot of personalities going back and forth here, and diverting a little bit from the.
It does say on the.
This is a celebration, and when we get to the end of it, it's the first retail sale through Amazon we presented on the show, and one of the first sales through Amazon ever. So it's a turning point in the automobile retail business. A very, very good thing.
In fairness, we didn't catch this, neither did Agent Lightning. It doesn't say it has to be a cashier's check. All it says, if you're paying in cash in full, it says most dealerships accept wire transfers or cashier's checks.
Yeah.
And we didn't see that. So.
Yeah. Okay. Finally, an hour later, Tony came back with the paperwork for me to sign. I asked him, "What's the amount, and who should I make the cashier's check payable to?" He walked back into the finance office, returned with this Post-it with $25,806 written on it. I said, "That number isn't right. I already paid $500 deposit online." He excused himself, spoke to Cody again, and came back with the amount adjusted $500 less. My husband and I left, went to the bank. I can't make this up. The bank was having system issues, blah, 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 blah. We had to leave and go to another branch. We finally pulled back to the dealership almost 2 hours later at 4:24 p.m. Tony was waiting for me at the door, accepted the envelope with the money, and walked toward the senior finance manager's office. When he came back, he had the license plate and a bag in his hand. He walked me to my car, installed the plate, and handed me the bag with a sunshade, umbrella, and the extra key. I asked him, "What's your sales manager's name?" He said, "Eric." He then asked, "Do you want me to go over the car with you?" I said, "No," and drove away. Other than the behavior of the staff at Delray Hyundai, there were no surprises. It was straightforward and easy process. So when you're voting on this, and Nancy and I
got 2 grades.
Yeah, and Nancy and I kicked this back, and that's exactly right. We said that we got a grade for the dealer, the way they behaved. We've got a grade for the process, which was the Amazon process, which was adhered to, rudely, albeit adhered to, and sloppily in some cases. But there was no overt attempt to bypass the rules of the road as stated by Amazon. So that's a very good thing. So that's one grade. The other grade are the interaction between the retail customer and the seller of the product, and that was just that was messy. So you're going to give either an A or an F. We say there are no perfect transactions or dealerships, so we try to dissuade you from scoring A too often. Same thing with an F. If you score F too often, we won't have any car dealerships to recommend. Hopefully that won't be a true statement 5 years from now, because Amazon will be selling all the cars, and it will be a pain-free, very, very pleasant process. Okay, time to vote.
Yep. So we're in the early days of the Amazon car buying thing. It's just getting started, and it's working as designed. I mean, the Amazon part was flawless. A for Amazon, without a doubt. It was really easy, and I can't wait to see how it gets refined and improved, because that's we're literally in the first months of this, maybe the first year of it coming out.
What we need to do is modify our good dealer, bad dealer list by having the Amazon transactions
with an asterisk.
List.
With an asterisk saying, listen, Amazon cannot control the individuals at the dealership.
Yeah.
So if they act strange or rudely, it's not Amazon's fault. But what can get is
also
a price,
note those dealers that are not on the Amazon program, even if we haven't shopped them, because why aren't they on the Amazon program? Yeah.
We don't know. I don't know if they're going to reveal that, but I think we can guess.
Yeah.
So and for Delray Hyundai's part. I mean, I'm not grading them on tactics and things like that. By the way, we have a picture of the window sticker, and they do have a big addendum on it. That never came into the discussion with Amazon, so that's another great reason. Amazon's not going to let them do that. It's a C minus, maybe a D on the behavior. If everything went down exactly, I'm not questioning Amazon. It's like it's bizarre how quickly they jump to assume a hostile posture.
Yeah.
So that's not good. That's bad business. It's bad for the customer. But even him telling them, "What, you want to cancel the deal?" Could you imagine one of our people in our sales department
sure.
on a disagreement or a personality conflict just offer for them to leave?
You'd fire them.
That's what was my comment. So, but I'm judging them as a consumer, not as a manager of a dealership. They'll get a C minus from me.
All righty.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and vote. And I think I have a question. First of all, I'm not sure whether Cody was there to sell a car or Will. It does sound like as if that there may have been a contest, and that is who is the alpha dog? So, with all of that said,
it's called a PP contest.
There you go. I wanted to keep it clean. I'm going to give the staff big fat F, and I'm going to give Amazon an A.
All righty. From Jonathan in Palm Coast says, Happy Easter. Delray Hyundai gets a C from me. $1,003, he says $1,003.50 in dealer fees, $8.99 doc fee, etc. It's an average grade for an average dealership. They're hard to find, but there are better deals out there.
That's true.
And let's see, we got Bob from Maryland says, I was headed for an A, but this went downhill. F for the team at Delray Hyundai with a C overall, as some aspects are being quick and easy. Another dealer might have been an A. Frank in Jupiter Farm says, interesting mystery shop. All in all, it was a good experience, B+, only due to the behavior of the salesperson. Price-wise, an A. And he says, did the dealership sell other Amazon deals?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't think they don't mention that on Amazon, but that would be good to know.
Yeah. Okay, and we got, let's see, Negan says D for poor customer service, but the process gets a C. Joseph Kelleher says B+ for Amazon, D for the dealership. T Cash says dealership in ring one versus the customer, a D. Amazon gets a C. I thought this was going to completely eliminate the dealership and have the car delivered to your doorstep. That's certainly possible. Let's see what we got over here yet. Okay. Scroll back a little. There we go. Johnny Z. Fradley says, if you have Amazon Prime, do you get same-day delivery? And yes, I think so. A generous D for me only because of the $2,300 gift card. Tom Steckel says A for Amazon, D for the dealership's behavior and time taken to complete the transaction. Didn't like the credit report. Would also compare with Central Florida Hyundai with no dealer fees. Now that could be a big bonus. Tim Gilliland says, feisty crew this morning. In theory, car buying the way it should be, except for the rudeness, which would have sent me out the door. The deal gets an A, the dealership a D. Brian said, Latco, no haggle transaction for the car. A, Delray dealership gets an F.
We're running out of time here.
Okay, yeah, we'll have to. Sorry, guys, we got to skip the last couple. For me, Amazon gets an A, dealership gets a D.
Same, A and a D.
A-D.
Okay. Hey, Agent Lightning, you did a fabulous job. You proved to me that you have got patience. I'm telling you. Stay tuned next week. We'll be right here, the Oldies Channel. We're having a whole lot of fun, and we want to thank all of you for tuning in this morning. We enjoy your company. Have a wonderful weekend. See you next week, same time, 8 a.m.